Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Mike Beer, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Wednesday, May the 10th, race number 8 at Aqueduct. We're going 1 mile on the Widener turf, and it is an entry-level allowance event. Let's take a look at this field. Remember to head on over to the Race of the Day event page, download those free Formulator Pass performances, and handicap along with us as we take you in post position order. And we're going to begin with Awesome Song. A lot of angles here for Awesome Song. This will be his third start of the form cycle. Right. He removes the blinkers, he switches to Javier, and he's got a little bit of speed.
All those things are very true. She also, I think, has to improve to win this race. I think she's facing a tougher field here than I think she faced in either of her last 2 races, although she did run well in those 2 races.
And she did finish ahead of 2 next out winners in that race at Keeneland. The 5th place horse Wessex came back for Belmont to win at Churchill with an 82 Beyer speed figure. Here's what the Timeform US Pace Projector has in store for our race of the day. And they believe that Awesome Song and Javier will be able to get out on the lead on a relatively easy pace.
Now that could go a long way for her if the race does indeed play out that way. I'll be surprised if she's that loose on the lead, though.
And we also have a positive formulator fact for the number 1 Awesome Song. Brian Lynch over the past 3 years, blinkers off on turf, 27%, a couple big long shots in there, $8.91 return on investment. The number 2 is Believe Indeed. This is a horse that's coming out of a fairly live race at Tampa Bay Downs. The first 2 horses came back to win with 74 and 82 Beyers respectively, but this is a pretty big step up in class.
Yeah, this horse is jumping way up in class. I just feel like this race is too tough for her. I believe the horse that ran second in the last race, Rockin' Alley, came up here and won a race, but for a claiming tag, this horse is stepping way up in class.
We saw that the pace projector might favor horses up close to the pace. The 3 bargaining table, on the other hand, is likely to come from well out of it. This is a hard-hitting veteran mare. She's won 8 times in her career, and she finished behind a horse, Glory to Kitten, who returned to Beyer 85 at this level, went second. Second start off the layoff for a good trainer in Mike Maselli.
Yeah, I mean, there are things to like about her. She's, as you say, she's a hard hitter, and she just shows up and runs her best race all the time. I think these races are a little bit tough for her, but she could probably get a piece of this thing.
The number 4 Vagabond fits very well from a Beyer speed figure standpoint. She's only raced 5 times in her career, but in her last 2 races, she's Beyered 84 and 88. She didn't have the cleanest of trips last time out on December 4th at Aqueduct. A, it was a yielding turf course. B, she was just completely stymied at mid-stretch, and she ran on really well once she did get clear behind an okay allowance runner in Puka. You're going to have to deal with a layoff here for Shug, and you know there's about a 26-day gap in the work tab.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, I did think she was badly compromised the last time we saw her, though. I didn't love her races prior to that. I mean, I thought she ran fine. I didn't think she ran great, but she did have a big excuse last time, I thought, and she just sort of looks to me, Dan, like one of those typical progressive Shug fillies. She was okay at 3. I suspect she'll be even better at 4. She's a big player in this race.
She'll give 8 pounds to the 3-year-old, the number 5 Scheme, who I've liked both of her races. And Mike, I know you're a big fan of Scheme. Tell us about that Sanibel Island against fellow 3-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, I think this horse is pretty interesting. I think she's had some slight trouble in both of her career starts. She overcame it to win her debut. I mean, boy, she felt really unlucky to me in that Sanibel Island. And I know she's a 3-year-old. She's facing some older horses here. I'm not sure how much I really care about that. I like her upside. I mean, she ran right up on horses in that race last time and had to steady. She lost all of her momentum right when it counted as they were flying home a fast final quarter mile of that race. This horse ran a lot better than it looks last time.
Sanibel Island's already produced 2 next out winners, one that scored over the Tapeta surface at Woodbine with an 80 Beyer speed figure. Chad Brown has 2 foreign-bred entrants in this race. We'll begin with the number 6 War Queen, beaten favorite in her last 2 races, one down at Gulfstream Park. The winner came back to run 3rd with an 82, but only against starter optionals. Not a big fan of this horse.
Yeah, I don't really like either of her 2 races. I mean, it wouldn't be a race of the day in New York if Chad didn't have at least 2 in there, and he's got 2 in here. I don't like this one that much. His other one scares me a lot more.
The number 7, Rimani Sempraforte, has only raced once on the turf. That was her career debut as a 2-year-old. She ran into Majestic Bonnie, who subsequently was stakes place, and she just had no chance.
Yeah, I agree with that. Didn't you think she had a real trip in that race? I mean, it never worked out for her. And I know that her races, and they dropped her in for a tag. She won by the length of the stretch. She's only been on dirt since then. Forget about the Gazelle. You can't hold that race against her. There's a chance she's a lot better than she looks on paper. She's a long shot that you might want to keep an eye on.
I agree 100%. She should go in excess of 20 to 1. Her form is dirtied up, and if you get a chance in Formulator to go back and watch that turf debut on July the 24th, she had some significant trouble. The 8 is Lily's Answer, a horse that should be close to the pace for the always dangerous Michael Maker.
Right.
Second last time out at Aqueduct. Didn't really see the excuse there.
No. She had no excuse in that race, except the fact if you want to say Barrico, the horse that beat her, really good form right now for that horse, and she fired a good one down the outside to win that race. But this one, I mean, it's really hard to excuse that loss for her.
Now, you mentioned that of the Chads, you were way more afraid of the number 9, Penjade. Penjade, though, has now run 11 times.
Yep.
She has finished second
That's
at
right.
6 times. And if you throw out the Tropical Park Oaks, she's lost at short prices on a couple of occasions, races that she was supposed to have won.
Yeah, I think that's true. On the other hand, she got beat a half length by Sassy Little Lila.
very good one.
Real good horse. Dana Lovna, who
good
beat
one.
a really good one.
Stella Rose, a good
Stella
one.
Rose. She's faced some good horses, but you're right. You don't want to make too many excuses for these horses, especially when they're trained by this guy, and you know they're going to take a ton of money because she will get bet again in this race. I do think she's okay, though.
Maybe this 4.5-month layoff is all she needs to sort of grow up. This will be her first start as a 4-year-old. Pick time for our Formulator race of the day. You are a big fan of the number 5 Scheme.
Yeah.
I think she's got all of the upside potential. A sneaky trip last time out, and as a 3-year-old facing elders might be a nice price.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of price she'll be in here. It sort of felt like maybe, you get her 3rd or 4th choice in this race, and if she is, I'm betting her in this race.
I'm also going to be using the 5 Scheme in any kind of multiple race exotic wagers, but I like Vagabond for the reasons that Mike mentions. Just seems like a typical progressive shug horse. She did have trouble last time out, and she does have some at least competitive figs. I also like that she's got somewhat of a tactical gear. She doesn't have to come from far out of it. So for me, it's going to be 4, 5, 1, and 6 in our Formulator race of the day. If you're playing the Wednesday Belmont card from home, DRF Bets invites you to be a VIP for a week. And new subscribers, when you head on over to drfbets.com/VIP, you'll be presented with a $300 bonus and lots more. Approximate post time for our Formulator race of the day, the 8th at beautiful Belmont Park on Wednesday, is 5:13 Eastern. Good luck.